All right. All right, guys. Hey, welcome to tonight's Healthy for Life team call. Jenna had asked me and Emily to just kind of facilitate. I think Riley wants to run it as more of an open discussion on this topic on how to convert customers to challenger or customers to coaches and kind of hear from different people what's working for them, what they've done in the past, and just kind of throw some ideas around. So I am going to throw this over to Riley and have her kind of talk about what she wants to talk about, but please feel free to unmute yourself and kind of share as we go along. So Riley, take it away.
Thank you, Caitlin. I think I'm just going to start out how Jenna, she usually does with the coach shout out. If there's anyone who wants to give a shout out to someone on the call or on the team or even a client or I'll go first. I wanted to give a shout out to Courtney Miller because she has come so far and it's so amazing for me as her coach to actually go to her now for advice, and it's really cool that we have built that connection. And the topic that we are speaking on tonight, she is actually my only active coach, so that's also a huge shout out for her. And she, you know, she's come a long way, and I'm so proud of her. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her. Does anybody else have a shout out to give to anybody?
I want to give out to Michelle Moon. I don't know if you guys have seen her post message that she's sharing to her connections and her conversations as well. So definitely want to give a shout out to her. And then also to my coach Jama. I just saw she jumped on. She's a brand new coach and a fellow Firewife. And she just started. This is her first full month doing it. She's already hit Success Club, and she's just jumping right in and hitting the ground running. But I love, she's another one. If you look at her posts, I love the message that she's sharing, and she's just like jumping in, getting it, and all in with it. So it's pretty cool to see that too.
Hi, Nina.
Hey.
Don't mind us. We're just trying to do bath time.
I love it. Real life, real life. Anybody else? Anybody else want to shout out?
I'll give a shout out because I see you're on. I don't know.
Do you guys know how do you mute all? I'm not quite sure how to do that on here, or does Jama have to do it?
You can. I think you can click on her photo and maybe mute that from there. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give a shout out to Becky. She is on right now. She had just moved from my area in Pennsylvania down to South Carolina, and she went ahead and did Beachbody now full time. So it's really cool that she's a stay-at-home mom with now her daughter. And I'm just really proud of her for making that commitment to herself and showing others and herself that she can do it, because it is tough transitioning from a full-time job to going full-time at home, but it is possible. So shout out to you, Becky.
Absolutely. Anybody else have a shout out to you? Okay. Well, if nobody does, I'll just jump right into it. I am very nervous, but I wanted to discuss on a topic, and I actually think it's really appropriate for me to actually be speaking at this time, just because of everything that is going on in my life. So for this topic, my biggest struggle. I'll give you a little bit about me if you don't know. I've been a coach since April of 2015, and started out just as a challenge pack. It took me a while to actually commit, and then when I did, I didn't really do it as a business, but then the more and more that I would share my own story, the more and more people I was actually helping, and it became a passion, and it always has been, but to actually be able to experience it and put it to use, it's amazing. But the one thing for me that is a huge struggle is to make the transition from a challenger or a client to a um, coach. And for me, that obviously, since I only have Courtney as like a really active coach, I've been in this business for over 2 years, and that's really something that I have struggled in. So I wanted to kind of have like an open session because we have a lot of coaches on here I look up to immensely, and I wanted to get their input for my own self, but also to share because I know that it's something that everybody can relate to. Um, One of my biggest struggles is that I have a lot of clients. I do, and but 90% of them don't get shakes every single month. So to get them to make that transition, they don't want to spend that every month. They're making it last for 2 months. So in order to keep your PV and do all of that, that's been a struggle. Another one is that I've heard is they don't want to sell, or they don't want to come off as like salesy, and that's hard because you want them to share their story, but then I have a lot of people who haven't even shared their stories in our groups. So for them to be able to share that to the actual public or to their, families and friends, it's a big challenge for them. Um, Another thing is they're not in their mind, they're not where they want to be on their own journey, so they feel like they can't help others or coach others in doing that. Those are just some of the things that I have heard throughout the years, and I just wanted to see what the other coaches on the team had to say about that. So I have asked a few of them. I don't know which one is going to go first. I guess I'll call on Nina. Nina, but you're driving, so when you're like at a like stoplight, can you talk?
No, I'm good. I can do it. I can go ahead and do it. So, okay. I'm just, you might not be able to see me because I'm not going to look at the phone, obviously. Okay, so signing coaches up. There are a few different ways I go about this, and I think it really depends on the relationship that you have with the person or the challenger with doing that. So I'm going to start like, you definitely attract what you post. So I always think about my posting as my storefront. And if you're only posting about the fitness and nutrition aspect, then nobody's going to come to you about the business. Or when you do bring the business up to them, they're not like really going to get that, oh, this is a business for you. I've actually had a lot of people before I started posting about the business that would like, they didn't understand that I made money off of this. They just thought I was doing it for fun and I was really into fitness and nutrition. So I think the first step is you need to post about the business opportunity if you want to get business coaching. I think another thing that we kind of do that actually discredits our potential coaches is offering discount like coach option to them. So this is something we learned at leadership, and it was kind of that aha moment to me. So often we try to get customers that are on Shakeology to sign up as discount coaches, and they have it in their head that they're a discount coach, and it kind of limits what their like what they're willing to do or what they think they might be able to do at one time. And the example was somebody was a discount coach, and then they went to another more established coach and said, I'm a discount coach, but I'm ready to go all in this business. Can I switch over to you? And it's like, well, no, you know, there's no such thing really as a discount coach. A coach is a coach. So I think that little shift in just how we present it is huge. But I think if, like, I had a hard time hearing you, but I heard one of your issues is just getting people to stay on Shakeology. And if I find out that one of my challengers is just drinking their shake, like, not regularly, I remind them that there's a 30-day guarantee on it. And in order for them to get the benefit, they need to drink it every single day. It's like taking a multivitamin. You're not going to, you know, take half a vitamin every day, or if you're prescribed a medicine, you're not going to take half of your dose of the medicine every day. You need to take it as you're supposed to take it. But I think the big thing is just also having those conversations, not being afraid to bring up the business, not being afraid to post about it, and not being afraid to ask people to join you. I know a lot of our invites, they start off as connections and we kind of count them as invites. And when we are brave enough to invite, we invite to the challenge group, but we truly have to be inviting to the coaching opportunity as well. So kind of my rule of thumb for coaches that, you know, are growing is to have 3 challenge group invites and 1 coach invite every single day. And that is just asking people and presenting it to it and sharing that story. One way you can do it is you can market for a coach sneak peek. I personally don't like to run coach sneak peeks because I feel like my social media is already a coach sneak peek. But what I do is when I take it to one-on-one in Messenger, I will either get the people on a call for a one-on-one call where they can ask me questions and I can talk to them about the coaching opportunity, or I invite them to watch a video that I have that's just like an FAQ coaching video that I made and I saved. So if I'm talking to somebody and they say, oh, well, what is this coaching thing? I say, oh, I have, you know, a 5-minute video, and so it addresses some of the frequently asked questions. Do you have 5 minutes to watch it? And then we can set up a one-on-one call and discuss it. And I found that really helps with people in kind of giving them some information. So that's kind of all I do. I think it's really just putting it out there and talking about it are probably the biggest things to consistently getting coaches.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. I haven't most of my relationships have been online, have been Messenger, have been, you know, through some sort of social media. So taking it to the actual, like, the one-on-one calls and things like that, I need to work on myself. And the video idea is amazing too, because there are so many questions, and once they see your face and how excited and how passionate you are about the business and about helping and about your why and things like that, I think that is amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that. Excellent. I'm excited because those are like huge tips. So I'm excited. I'm going to call out next, Michelle.
Hi guys. I love hearing this. This is a fun idea and fun topic. I think one thing to piggyback off of Nina, and kind of goes on the value of Shakeology as well. I went through a phase of my business where I was selling programs when we still just had DVDs. Like, it was my job. Like, everyone wanted 21-day fix and everyone wanted PIO, but I could not get them to be on Shakeology. And then I had to step back and reflect of, I'm sharing my sweaty selfies every day and they're seeing that physical transformation. I wasn't sharing the value in Shakeology. So my first conversation with Shakeology was, oh, it's $130. And then, like, they put their blockers up. So kind of making that shift and seeing of, like, okay, if I'm not adding coaches to my team, am I sharing about the business opportunity? If I'm struggling with Shakeology, am I sharing the value of Shakeology? So that could kind of be some reflection. One thing more recent, and I'm just going to, Kristen and I run our challenge groups together. So just when I say we, in our challenge groups is one, recognizing those great coaches that are sharing more than just, log Shakeology, but they're sharing their journey. Letting the challenge group know about what, just some excitement that we have in coaching. So we may take a screenshot of this and share it in our team call and be like, hey, look, your coaches, Kristen and I, teaming up on our team call to better, help you guys. If it's a payday, recognize, and just your current challengers are ideally your best coaches. And so giving them that insight of what coaching can look like can be really helpful, instead of just thinking of it as like that cold market, and introducing the business opportunity from the beginning. I guess I'm just trying to think of another tip of I think another tip from going, so say we have challengers, so from challenger to coach, another thing I do is just letting them know why I think they would be a great coach. Sometimes, like Nina said, we kind of limit them when we label them. So you are a challenger, I'm a coach on this pedestal, and there's this disconnect in between. And so letting them know of I think you'd be a great coach, and this is why. You are, a lot of my team are teachers, so you having that teacher's heart, you'd fit right in on my team. I see you encouraging other people in the challenge group, and you don't even know them. I see you sharing your non-scale victories. That's what I do as a coach, and you're just basically not getting paid for it. And so kind of pepping them up, and a lot of times they're like, I've never even thought about being a coach, or they're just flattered to know that you want them on their team, and they feel valuable and wanted and needed. Gets a lot of that conversation going, because I think sometimes they just put the blinders on of I can't do what you do, even though they don't know what we do. So compliment them, love on them, and let them know why they would make an amazing coach. And I guess share the business opportunity that way, rather than have people sign up under you and there's a commission and volume and blah, 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 blah. Get to the heart of what we do as coaching, not all the business junk to it. So that is something that I think helps. And it just feels good to love on people and compliment them when they're rocking it in your challenge group. So I hope that is helpful.
Thank you. That was actually because I'm always on the fence if I should share some of the things that I share on my regular page, but share with my actual challengers. But you're absolutely correct, and they do that anyway, but now they see it 2 times. So I think that I need to also do that as well. That's an amazing tip. Thank you so much for sharing. Emily, can you go next?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Hi, guys. So I'm going to chat a little bit about transitioning clients to coaches, or customers to coaches, or however you word them. So for me, I had to, the beginning of my year with signing coaches legit sucked. I barely had anybody sign. My dad had just passed away, so I'm still going through that whole grieving process and trying to get through all of that's been going on this past year. So I haven't really shared much about the business. And going to Summit, I went with one of my coaches, Morgan, and she should be like a motivational speaker on stage, and I know she will one day, but she kind of gave me more insight of what I need to do for myself and to portray that into my business. And I realized for me that I wasn't sharing anything about the coaching opportunity. I wasn't sharing about how it's changed my life. And I realized that I needed to do more of that. I can't just post, hey, here's my workout, that's what I did today, and be done with it. Because nobody's going to want to do anything with me except be a client and be a customer of mine. So I have a bunch of customers. So what I did from leaving Summit was kind of switch my posting. And I switched it to sharing about the coaching opportunity, what I was like before I became a full-time coach. And I have had more conversations about coaching in the past, I guess, month and a half than I have probably the entire year. Just from switching that to, you know, something different. And you don't really think about it because you're like, okay, I'm a health and fitness coach. I need to share about health and fitness. But sharing about the other details does help. So what I've been doing is I have either 1 or 2 coach opportunity calls a month. I will do what the back office has, the slideshow, put that slideshow together, and I will post about it on my Facebook page the day of. I will post about it a couple weeks in advance so people can join. And then I also save the video and share it into my challenge group. And why I'm doing that right now is because we need to remind our customers that we have now that have all access and the club membership, that's going away. So that 10% on their Shakeology is going away. And sometimes people get upset if they get charged $130 and they didn't know that. So I've been kind of, hey, you're allowed to get this discount, but also you can make an extra income. You're killing it in my challenge group. You already are doing what I do except the paycheck part. So that's kind of how I've been transitioning people, mostly from my challenge group. I have had some stragglers, and I'm starting to branch further out on, oh my gosh, I hope my computer doesn't start over. Am I still here? Okay, sorry, something popped up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gone now. Okay, so I'm trying to transition some things to Instagram to try and find more of a cold market for myself. And I've had people reach out to me on there about coaching. So that's kind of nice to see that as well. But that's what I've been doing. Try something. If it doesn't work, do something else, but you need to make sure that you're sharing about that coaching opportunity. What has this done for you? You might not be able to leave your full-time job yet. That is okay. It's hard enough. Listen to me. It's hard enough to leave your full-time job when you're not ready, because I wasn't ready when I left. But realizing that and putting in the work is what's going to get you there. So that's what I have for coaching. Go look in the back office at that slideshow and see if that's something you want to do. And it's super simple. Actually, what they do is label everything for you so you can say what's exactly on the slides. And I don't know, it just kind of works. And you can share that in your challenge group, and your customers can ask questions from there. And maybe make an FAQ, like Nina had mentioned, kind of call as well, so that you can answer those questions too.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you so much. Again, amazing tips. And it has come back so strong and just you amazing. Um, thank you so much for sharing. We have just 7 minutes. I don't want to go over. I know we only have half an hour. So I know that Kristen and Caitlin were going to say just a few things. So one of you, whichever one wants to share.
I'll just briefly share, because I know a lot of the things that the girls said were nuggets of mine that I had written down. So I don't want to repeat that. But I think the big thing that really stood out for me, Riley, when you had talked about kind of your struggles and with transitioning challengers to coaches, was one of the comments that you get, and I still get often too, is that I'm not where I am, I'm not going to be, or I'm not where I am in my physical journey, fitness journey, and whatnot. And how can I be a coach to somebody if I'm not where I want to be or need to be? And you guys all know that I firsthand have gained almost all of my weight back from when I started my journey in 2013. And I think since being so much more open about my journey and my struggles and my emotional eating and fertility struggles and jumping back into treatment has been amazing for not only my customer base, but sharing that and transitioning my challengers into coaches for that purpose. And because I want people to know that part of your journey as a coach is to be vulnerable and be transparent and to share that stuff that is just really uncomfortable. And that took me a long time to do, from January to actually before January to, I don't even remember when I posted my blog that I was actually going through treatment, but it took I would say 7 months. And it was finally when I just overcame that, things started to really change. And so I think, Nina had said, making that your storefront, making that social media, and really thinking about those posts and how it can impact other people with whatever struggles that they're going with, and how it can, impact them, not just on a physical journey and health and fitness journey, but emotional. And, we gotta talk about the business opportunity. We can't, avoid it. And so whether that's in your challenge groups or in your messenger, we have to make it a priority to talk about it, to those people, and building those connections. So that's what I had. So.
Thank you, Caitlin. Again,
Hey.
wow, me so much. You all do, actually. A great group. Like, you ladies really do. You're blessed, beyond blessed. Okay, we have time for Kristen. Last but certainly not least.
Hey, yes. All right. So I will piggyback real quick. And I'll be quick and then can share some stuff in this, like in the recording thread later in the team page. But one thing to piggyback off Michelle, like she said, we share about things in our challenge group, and kind of reach out to people who are being more active and who are already doing things as a coach. And then, doing the private messages and inviting them in, but also asking for referrals, right? Like, so I've started doing that a lot with my invites in general, and that we've heard a lot on like national wake up calls and other team calls of like just different scripts and ways to invite people in, and asking people for help. Just like all of us on this call like to help other people, people want to help us too, right? So like when you ask them like, hey, I need your help, or I'm looking for some help on something, I'm looking for some new teammates, I'm looking for some new challengers, maybe it's you, maybe not, but I bet you know some people that would be interested, right? So asking for referrals, and of course from our challengers too. So shouting out some people and I did this just the other day in our group of, you guys are all amazing, and I'm sure you know some other amazing people that would love to join us in this journey. So asking for those referrals in the group too. And really quickly, when I was in Pittsburgh at the summer conference a couple weekends ago, I cannot remember who, I didn't write down names, but there was a coach that spoke on how she leads a 90-day challenge. Okay, so first of all, it's, like I said, 90 days. Which really brings in that full commitment, right? We all know that, yes, a month consistently on Shakeology, if you drink it every day and if you go all in from the start, like you're gonna see results, and some people fall in love in that first month. But really getting that longer commitment is where we're gonna see the results, and we're gonna see people that are gonna stay with us longer and who are gonna wanna join as coaches, and who are really seeing more benefits. So. But here's how she does it, and this is where I can break down and add some more notes. But she does a 90-day challenge, so she asks for that commitment up front. And then in the first month, she's checking in with the challengers, and she's checking in, and it's all about them, okay? Like loving on them on their journey. So she's checking in to make sure they're drinking their shake every day, right? And getting that commitment and consistency. Checking in with them weekly on their progress, encouraging them in the group, all about them and all about them starting their journey in that first month. Month 2, she will reach out to them and, ask them to help with something, right? So, hey, we have some new people joining the group. Jenny has a lot of things in common with you, and she struggles with whatever, time management. And I know you struggle with that, but you've been really good this last month in helping. Can you keep an eye on her, check in on her, or can you continue, help motivate ABC, whatever, right? Like, so give them a job and ask them for help, shouting them out and kind of, already showing them that you believe in their ability to help other people, right? So adding that to it, or asking them to share, like, hey, we have some new people in the group. Can you do me a favor and share your journey so far? You've been doing amazing. So kind of planting those seeds there in the second month. And then in the third month, towards the end, like then the 90 days for that specific person is coming to an end. And she said, like, it's not that you get your 90 days and then you get booted, but at the same time, like if they're connected and we're connecting with them, those 90 days should be enough for them to kind of like fly on their own a little bit more and not need those, whether it's twice a week or weekly check-ins, right? We don't want to have to hold their hand. We want them to be flying free. But so towards the end of that third month, and as they're going through, then asking them to kind of put their full story together and share it with the group. Which right there is basically like forming their coming out post as a coach, right? Like this is, now they're 3 months in, they're loving everything, they're having great results. And then asking them, when they're sharing their story, asking them, do you know some people who you would want to pay this forward to? And then introducing to them to the coaching opportunity as far as, you'll get a great discount, you'll be able to help other people and pay this forward, you've done an amazing job. So she, kind of like just grooming them right in, but one step at a time through the 90-day challenge. And like everybody has said, that's where we get the most, I guess we could raise hands, but who came in as a challenger and then eventually fell in love and wanted to coach, right? Like that's where we get people who are sticking around and who really invest themselves in the business. So like I said, I can share that again and maybe add a few more notes if people want to kind of start that system a little bit, but grooming them that way through your challenge group is I think a great way to convert them in.
That's awesome. And really, sorry to jump in really quick, but why not sign them up as a coach from the get-go, because they're committed to 90 days. So you sign them up as a coach from day one. In their mind, you're just saving them the $20 a month, but you already have a coach. So day 90, you're like, girl, your account's set up. Let's build a team, and then you're set. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Kristen.
Yeah, and actually that's another thing. So Michelle, and I think, I got it from you. I don't know where you got it from. So I'll give you all the credit, right? But this whole thing of just automatically signing them up as coaches, like I never thought of that until Michelle was talking about it. Like from the start, I was always like, well, to get started, there are a couple options. You can go with this membership and pay retail, or you can go with this membership and get a discount and blah, 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 whatever. Like, and I just did my first one, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was nervous, and I reached out to Michelle for a little bit of wording, but I set her up as a coach. I used the mobile app to pre-register her, and I let her know, like, all right, I've got you set up. And it's already set up for you to save. This is the best way to start. And then also let her know, like, there's no obligation and we can always change your membership, but I'm excited for you to join us. And I just enrolled her as a coach from the start. Now, crossing my fingers, she doesn't see it and be like, wait, I don't want to coach. But I already, I gave her that out and said, there's no obligation for you to quote unquote coach anyone. Right. But yeah, why not? Especially now that the 10% is going to go away. That, I don't know, it's kind of a no-brainer, and I'm going to keep running with it. Get a little more courageous in it too.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt again. This is not supposed to be the Kristen and Michelle show. I apologize. But along with that is, and I used to do the same thing, like, here are your options, and then like word vomit my suspected objections that they'll have about the coaching membership. And then it's just, it's just so much. And so with that mobile app, like, hey, I pre-registered you to save the most money. This is the best deal. Let me know when you sign up. And a lot of the times they're like, okay, done. But then if they do, they look a little further, like, oh, well, why are they asking for my social security number? Oh, well, here's why. Oh, can you tell me about this membership? Oh, sure. And then, like, it's not, I think my fear was like that I was like sneaky or, like secretly setting them up as coaches. Like, no, they're grown adults. They can read the information, but it's not being sneaky because you can still change it. You can cancel it. You can delay it. And then kind of letting their questions guide the conversation instead of like word vomiting everything they need to know about a coach account. I just say like, hey, I helped sign you up and get on with it. I have had a couple people that were adamant, like, no, thank you. Okay, that's fine. Let's sign you up as a customer, get the challenge pack. It's fine. But on the flip side, I have had a lot of coaches from the get-go. So, okay, I'm done, I promise. But you should do it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, amazing tips. I have like 2 pages of notes that I need to go through. I know that we're past the time. I just wanted to say something about the 90-day challenge. We all know that Autumn coming out with the 80-day. That is perfect. Think about that. That is perfect, and we could all, or you could set up your challenge group that way and have 10 either start 5 days before or 10 days and have it be prep and then like success after whatever, but that is really cool. I wanted to, and does anybody have any questions? Or does anybody else have anything that they wanted to share?
I had a quick question for Emily, if that's okay, about Instagram. And I could always message you later, but because you said you've shifted over a little bit to Instagram and you've been finding people through your cold market through there, what have you done differently on your account, or have you done like a training? I know I've done a while back. It was called Instagress training, I think it was, but I paid for it, and it was something that allowed me to kind of branch out to like my niche market. But I didn't know if you were doing something different to.
Okay, so don't like quote me on any of this because I'm just starting to like get into Instagram and doing the stories because I'm usually good with Snapchat. Like I love using Snapchat, but after listening to the wake up call, I realized that you do have to transition people off of a social media network onto another one. And I've tried to, I feel like my posts on Instagram are just different. Sometimes I don't post what I post on my Facebook to my Instagram. Like I keep my Instagram more fitness and my marriage and my business kind of related. So I feel like I've just made it a little bit different. And I've been shifting that to my Facebook as well. But Insta stories I think is helping, and tagging different areas like the UK and the Outer Banks because that's where I want to live. You know, so tagging those different things I think is helping, and you can actually see who is looking at your story now, which is really cool. You can check that insight. So like I said, I'm just making different posts. Hashtags are huge. So I have been using my hashtags like married life and faith-filled woman or something like that that's related to me, and it's getting me more followers that are like me versus putting a hashtag that has over 1 million posts on that. So just be mindful of your hashtags and what you're sharing and who you are. Like I'm a cat mom, so I share that I'm a cat mom. Just different things like that can help switch your Instagram, plus it can help you get new followers that you wouldn't have before. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
All right, guys, any other questions before we jump off? I know we went a little bit over tonight, and I apologize, but I thought that this was really, really helpful. I know that I took notes as well, and it was extremely helpful to me and probably to some of the other coaches that spoke. So does anybody else have any questions that they want to add? No? Riley, did you want to say anything else?
One last thing. And I actually thought about it when I forget who's talking. I'm just so like mesmerized by you girls. Caitlin. So going back to the people that are hesitant about their own journey, it reminded me, and something I share for coaching. To me, coaching is making me a better person. seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But to know that I have people counting on me and looking at me and just being there, and also for you girls and like for things like that, like like I think about it, I'm like, you know, it really helps. So when you are talking about the coaching opportunity and those people say that, like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm closer, but let's be honest, we're never gonna be there. But it's amazing to be able to work together to achieve that. So that was the ending.
No, absolutely. I think we all can relate to that. We all have had struggles and challenges and obstacles, but this opportunity has changed us in more ways than one. And I think it's goes to show that there are so many more people out there that can really benefit from it. So awesome. Thank you so much, Riley. This was extremely helpful, and I hope you guys got some great information out of it. I will post the recording as soon as it's uploaded. And Kristen, if you don't mind sharing some of those notes from the 90-day challenge that you were talking about in Healthy4Lyfe, I think that would be great.
Yep, I'll post it either in the recording or I'll just make a little slate or something and throw it in there.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for jumping on, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. See you guys.
Bye.